Hey everybody, this is Lord Magicus, and this week we're going to go back to Mono Blue Devotion in Pioneer. So, yeah, let's take a look at this list. It's pretty similar to what we've played before, but looking at some of the decks in the metagame, I realized there's some stuff that I really don't have a good sideboard plan for, and I think like the Black-White Auras deck was definitely one of them. That deck is reasonably popular, and we don't really have a lot of creature interaction, so I changed up a little bit of the deck to try to give us a better shot versus that. So here, I'm going to split the 1-drops between Sailor and Faithful. I mean, Spectral Sailor is fine, but I don't think we need necessarily 4 copies of it. The Faithful is an unsummon on a stick. Exploit lets you sacrifice any creature you control in order to trigger this, so when it enters the battlefield, you can choose to sack a creature, and if you do, then you get this effect. It's actually pretty interesting because if you say like, you know, have Faithful out, you could sacrifice maybe an elemental token for Master Waves, or maybe you decide that Spectral Sailor is not as good in a matchup because you need like the defense. So it doesn't have to sacrifice itself. It can sacrifice any creature you control. Sometimes it'll be itself and it'll be fine. It'll just be like a sorcery speed unsummon, but I think it'll be okay. So yeah, definitely having this versus, you know, like the Auras deck, for instance, I think it matters a lot because you can really punish them. If they like tap out and you bounce their guy, they lose a bunch of their Auras, and it kind of sets them back a fair bit. I think that's helpful. So I have another 2 of those in the sideboard to bring in that match. So hopefully we will not be too disadvantaged there. And also on the sideboard, another card that we probably will bring in there, but maybe in a few other matches, Imprisoned in the Moon. So again, thinking along these lines of, okay, well, if something resolves, like, I don't really have good answers to it. Well, Imprisoned in the Moon is sort of like an Oblivion Ring for blue. The trade-off is that you can enchant any creature, land, or planeswalker, and it turns it into basically just a wastes. So they get access to 1 colorless mana in exchange for you removing whatever permanent it is you're enchanting. So I think turning like a Teferi Time Raveler into a waste, or, you know, turning like just any creature that, you know, is a huge problem, you can just enchant it, and it's like, okay, you have it. It produces a colorless now instead of doing anything else. It's pretty good, and also it's something that we can use Fae of Wishes defined from the sideboard in a pinch, so it's worth mentioning. What else here? And the other thing I decided is that we didn't really see a whole lot of play out of the Surge Mare. I think Surge Mare was fine, but there were a lot of times where we didn't really have the mana available to sink into it, so it was pretty good against like the red deck though. Like, it was difficult for them to get rid of, but I think Merfolk Trickster, maybe we can try this again. It might shore up some of the same issues, because against the red deck, like, it can still save you a bunch of life just by tapping stuff down, and even if they use a removal spell to get rid of it, like, you know, that's not going to your face at least. And, you know, the fact that it's an enter the battlefield trigger means that you get value out of it whether they remove it or not. What else? Something you can cast at instant speed. So if we want to be able to hold up counter spells better, then this is going to help us. And it's also worth mentioning, you know, this is a wizard, and the Sidisi's Faithful is also a wizard. So this build actually, you know, and we also have the Thassa's Oracle too. So our wizard count is a lot higher now because we've just effectively added 5 wizards to the deck. So Retort is going to be online in turn 3 for 2 mana a lot more often here. And even sometimes on turn 2, if you go like Faithful, you can have this up on turn 2. One of our biggest problems, as mentioned before, is like Teferi Time Raveler on turn 3, and Jawari Disruption. I think it's worth playing copies of this just for the sole purpose of countering Teferi on turn 3. If we can do that, then I think we can give ourselves a much better chance in any of these games. And I mean, otherwise it's just a land. So we still have 21 lands plus 4 of these, so it's like 25 lands. I mean, I expect to cast like 1 of these and then the other 3 to be lands, so that's perfectly fine. It keeps our land count about where we need it. Otherwise, the rest of these cards are fine. Baron is not like 100% necessary, but I still think that it's worth playing him a little bit more to test him. Because, I mean, there are times where he's actually pretty strong. He's not quite Reflector Mage, but he's close enough for our purposes, so I guess we have to... I think we have to try him more. And also in the sideboard, we made a few other changes to our wish board here. So I decided instead of Grafdigger's Cage, actually, Tormod's Crypt might be a little bit better. It's something that we can granted for it with only 4 mana and still be able to exile the graveyard. And that can matter a lot because the Oops All Spells deck, which is running around, they need their graveyard in order to combo off. So if you are able to grant it and get Tormod's Crypt, especially if you have Leyline of Anticipation out with 4 mana, this means if they go for their combo, you wait for everything to go to their graveyard, and then you Crypt, exile their whole graveyard, and basically they're just dead. So it turns this into 4 mana. You can just like defeat Oops All Spells with just this card. Grafdigger's Cage means you need 5 mana for that, and you're not always going to have 5 mana for it, so I think this is just a little bit stronger. Plus, Cage, it doesn't remove the stuff from their graveyard. It doesn't stop stuff like Creeping Chill from doming you. And if they have, if they have like a Nature's Claim, they can just claim the Grafdigger's Cage, and you're screwed anyway. Whereas a Tormod's Crypt, it doesn't matter. If you play it, it just gets rid of their whole yard entirely. So, I mean, we're not quite as good versus stuff like Uro, but it is what it is. Like, the Graveyard Hate in Pioneer is not as good as it is in Modern because we don't have like Relic of Progenitus. I think that's a huge card that's like missing from this format that I really wish we had. But since we don't, we're gonna have to just try to live without it. So I think this has a little bit more synergy with our Wishboard plan. I'm gonna keep the Damping Sphere in case we go up against like the Lotus combo, because this is like the best sideboard card against that. We have Mystical Dispute still. 2 copies of Ashiok because the Crypt is kind of taking the slot of one of these, but we still probably want to bring these in against something like, well, any of like the Uro decks. I imagine this is probably good, and if they're searching their deck for at all, yeah, we definitely want this. I'm thinking stuff like Sultai Delirium, maybe like any sort of Scapeshift deck, like that sort of stuff. Yeah, Ashiok helps a lot there. Because those decks tend to play Uro and also search their deck for stuff, so both effects of Ashiok are relevant in that case. And then the other card that we're going to try here is Blast Zone. So this is another card that we can wish for if we're up against like the Auras deck. Blast Zone is something that we can wish for with this, because remember, it finds anything that's not a creature, and that means you can find lands from the sideboard. So Blast Zone will come in with 1 counter on it. So it'll take 2 turns if we need to tick it up. But here's the thing though, like we have Nykthos in our deck, so Blast Zone, if there's like a CMC that we need to get rid of, say like we need to kill all the 2 drops or all the 3 drops or something, we can make the mana to do that pretty easily, and so yeah, Blast Zone I think is going to be helpful for that. It also is just like if we need to get more lands in order to ramp up to something. Like, we have like Gadwick in our hand, or we're trying to get more mana so we can get to like Ugin the Spirit Dragon. It's a land we can wish from the sideboard, but it also has some pretty strong utility. So if we're trying to grind a game out, this is certainly a threat the opponent has to deal with, or it's going to nuke a lot of their board. So, and generally, like with these kind of cards, it's going to benefit you to kill things more than it's going to hurt you. So even though we have like 2 drops and stuff in our deck, if the opponent has like say a SRAM out and you need to like kill everything on 2 mana, that's going to help a lot. So I think this is going to be a pretty reasonable build to try out. So let's go take it into a league and we will see how good it does. I will see you in just a second. Hey everybody, it's time to play the first round. So we are on the play. Let's see. I think this hand looks good. I'm going to keep it. You can play this Faithful in turn 1. Nope. We have Wizard's Retort and Trickster online here, so if we can just draw a few more lands, Master Waves is going to curve out nicely. So the Triome, so that is the Rug one. Okay. Yeah, we keep attacking doesn't do anything here. I guess there's not really anything that they can do on turn 2 that I'm concerned about, so let's scry here. I want Nykthos on top. And then hopefully we'll find another land after. Well, actually, it doesn't even matter because we'll have a ton of mana, so. Castle Ventress. Interesting. Alright. So I can play Trickster at the end of their turn. Then I can just play Master Waves. But I would really... Growth Spiral. I feel like... Yeah, that's gonna happen. They're gonna censor. See, that matters. Knowing they have censor in this deck is important. That's helpful. Now, here's the thing. They might have a sweeper right now. I don't think we need to press our luck just yet. I would like to play. I would like to wait for another land if I can. Okay, they draw one card. And this one, they're gonna draw 2 cards. I just want to be able to counter whatever their big spell is going to be. But right now, I think we're doing pretty well here. Let's... I'll probably just play that as a land. Okay, fine. You have like... They have like a million cards anyway, so that's not really the limiting factor here. So what are they looking for? So they found Anger of the Gods. So what do they do? If they have a counter spell, I'm just going to counter Anger again. No, thank you. They seriously have 2 of these? Fuck. Alright, well... They have Mystical Dispute in their main deck. That's surprising. Okay. They're gonna... So basically we're gonna lose 2 creatures here. But we can at least play Master of Waves. So the Faithful still lives, and we'll still have a fair bit of pressure. So we have 6 power in play right now. They have 7 cards. It's rough. Like they could just have another Anger and kill off the 2 elementals. That's Uro. Uro's going to be difficult to fight here. They can get Uro back pretty easily. Damn it. I mean, yeah, they had like Anger plus 2 counter spells. That was rough. I don't think there's much we can do about that. So they're gonna get Uro back, I imagine. So it'd be in a good place if we could like bounce this Uro, or even like Trickster would be okay. But no, this is like so rough. Look, this is like the problem. Uro, it means like they're gonna have infinite life and cards because of this. They gained, like, so much. Oh, God. It doesn't help us now. Fuck. Like, this expansion explosion is just going to kill us, probably. They just need to find another one. They'll just dome us for a bajillion damage. Kill off the elementals. Look, like, this card is so stupid. And we just continue to flood out here with, like, nothing to do here. No, 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 no. Turn off auto yields. May as well attack with Master. I don't know. I don't think we can do much here. This deck is so powerful. I have nothing. Shark Typhoon? Oh, fuck. Alright, that's fine. I just give up. I can't beat, like, all of this. Well, we need Mystical Dispute. And I think we don't want Faithful here. This is so difficult, though. Most of their sweepers are red based, so Master Waves might actually be okay. I think Trickster's okay. Is there anything that's, like, not that great? Honestly, like, Spectral Sailor isn't. Could take in one of these Imprisoned from the Moons. Or maybe, like, I don't think Blast Zone really does anything. Maybe an Ashiok. Ashiok is not the best either. So I think the problem is this deck doesn't really search from the graveyard, so... Actually, I don't know if I want Imprisoned. Alright. These need to stay here. What about this? Like, I don't think this matters, really. Like, this card doesn't do a whole lot. I don't want to, like, give them a bunch of mana, but maybe I don't have a better way to fight Uro. We'll take Ashiok and just hope that it's enough. We'll keep this. We'll play a Jawari Disruption on turn 1. Yeah, they mulled to 6, so that's probably... you know what, if they... Oh, they mulled to 5, so you know what, I might just try to cast these Disruptions against them. Because if I could just, like, counter their growth spirals and whatnot, that's probably really good on its own. I have some time to draw cards. Yeah, that's what I thought. Perfect. They have nothing going on right now, which means we can just play, like, Baron here, I think. There's a good Test the Water spell. They might dispute it. That's fine. Okay. Sure. No, I don't want to pay for it. I don't have any green mana yet, so Growth Spiral's not a thing. Inventory, draw a card. Alright, let's play Gadwick and draw a card. It's fine, because then it means if we play Master of Waves, our Devotion will be a little bit better. You know what? I probably should... No, did I play an island that turn? Let's attack. I'll just play it. So they have Blast Zone. Okay. think this is a good opportunity to try Master. Yeah. They're choked on lands anyway, so... They need another red source. So alright, so that actually, could they have Anger online now? Well, it's sort of okay. I can just play like another Gadwick. I will leave up the Mystical Dispute. This also plays around Censor. Alright. Those were some pretty reasonable draws, because now we have... Alright, sure, you can Growth Spiral. I don't think that matters. I'm more concerned about them like trying to play Uro into Uro. Okay. So let's see. I have 5, 6, 7, 8 here. So how do I want to do this? Because I want to play Oracle to tap this thing down. I can play Leyline here and then play Oracle in their turn. Right, because that'll still give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can play like Oracle plus the... Yeah, I think this works. Yep. It will not be attacking me. Probably... What is actually really good here? I have a ton of devotion, I just need to protect it, and I basically win the game. I guess Fae of Wishes is okay. We have like infinity mana. They're gonna kill off my Gadwick this way. I don't really have anything I can do about that either. Right? If I like Mystical Dispute it, they can just like pay 3 mana, so I guess I just have to let this happen. Okay, let's look here. So that's 6, 7, 8, and I have 9 mana here. So what is that enough to like do something? Could get an Imprisoned from the moon. Might be fine. Let's attack. Right, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if I want to do this, it will cost me 7, which means I can only have up like 1 spell. It's a gamble, I guess. But it keeps this Bail off from attacking, so it might be what I have to do here. What if I go for 6 mana? I could just Cyclonic Rift this thing, right? So before I can get Cyclonic Rift to bounce it. Alright. But okay, so if I get Rift though, and I cast it, they could tap. I might not be able to do anything about it afterwards, but if they recast it, I can attempt to Mystical Dispute it. I guess I should do it now. Yeah, I guess that's gonna be fine. This is not easy. Oh, they're okay, so they're that's interesting. Going for Gargadoth here? They're gonna dispute my own dispute. Okay. Alright, well, I mean, I didn't really have an option to deal with that. They got the Expansion Explosion out of their hand at least, so that's a plus. They're tapped out. So if I cast this Fae of Wishes, let's see, how much mana do I have here? Still 9. Can I Imprisoned in the Moon this thing now and it will be okay? So it'll be... I think I can. No, or actually I can't because I still have to spend 4 mana to get this back in my hand. Ugh, alright, so... There's nothing else in my sideboard that's really going to help here. No, I can't get this, so... So I guess I do have to cast Fae of Wishes. I just don't have to do it right this second. I may want to discard 2 cards. There's nothing I can really do to slow this thing down right now. I guess I can cast it here. Because if they have Anger of the Gods, it's not going to kill this, so... They'll get to attack me for 6 one time, that's okay. They gain 3 life. Okay, so they're going for the safety route here. They're not going to block anything. I think if they try to cast like Uro and then bring it back, that's okay. So here I could add Leyline to the board, give myself more devotion. I'd have to discard these 2 spells though. Or I could pay 2 and bring this back right now. Go for Imprisoned in the Moon. I think I want to do that. Oops. I fucked that up. I should have not done that. Okay, well, I can't do anything about it anyway. That's kind of helpful. I'm taking Blast Zone up to 3. Okay. You're gonna try to take it to 4 to kill off my ley lines. So this can take them down to 2 life. This doesn't actually matter. This means my Mystical Dispute is useless here. They're gonna just put 4 counters and blast them so they can kill off Leyline of Anticipation. Oh my god, this is like so brutal. We're so close, like we can almost get there. But they're gonna crack this Blast Zone to kill off Master and Leyline. Well, that's not terrible. So here, they gain 3 life to go to 7, so theoretically, I mean, we're not protected against much. This dispute is like definitely not helping us huge amount. If I could find like a 2-drop, I could activate Thassa, make everything unblockable, and attack for 7 unblockably. Oh yeah, they blew up their own Wilderness Reclamation, so I hope this resolves. Yes! Okay, Reclamation's good. Now they don't have their Scry engine online. Alright, come on. We need a 2-drop. That'll do. We had to fight so hard. They went down to 5 cards, and we still like had a ridiculous like match on our hands. It's insane. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Ugh. These disputes are not great. Maybe we need to probably use these a little bit more aggressively. I really don't want to like be bringing this in against their deck because it's not great. I guess I can turn off Blast Zone. It's a thing, but I feel like the rest of these we need these a little bit more. I don't know, maybe Imprisoned is a little bit better than Ashiok is. Alright, we'll do it like this and just pray. They have mulligans very far down and still had a great hand. They're keeping 7 cards. I'm just gonna... I have double Leyline, but like nothing to do with it. I have to mulligan. I think I have to keep this and put an island in the bottom. Actually, I guess I put Fae of Wishes in the bottom. So I might want to cast this Jawari Disruption. Okay, well, that's helpful, I think. I guess I'm passing and I'm just using this disruption on anything that they play. Sure, that's not like growth spiral. I'm more concerned about like spiral. If they don't have another land, they might be forced to cast something here to dig for one. No, they do have it. So it looks like they might be going for another inventory or something. So I guess here we're just passing. And this time if they cast a spell. No, they don't. Interesting. It's like, what are they doing? They're not doing anything? Probably Trickster goes on top. Because we have a bunch of Thassa's, we need some devotion for it. What are you doing? Oh, cycling. Well, I guess we're hoping to just counter like Gargadoth or something. They're doing a very fantastic job at playing around this disruption. So Thassa comes down so she can help us find better counter spells, I guess. So they have Censor. Okay, that's worth noting. Okay, that's fine. They just are not tapping out, which is probably a good idea. Yeah, fuck, I can't do anything here. Like, they're just gonna... Yeah, that's brutal. I can't do anything about it. I wanted to just... I don't know, like, we're in danger of, like, expansion explosion just, like, being a thing at this point, so we have to be careful. Alright, what do we find here? Does Castle Vantress really help me? I can play Master Waves and still hold up this. I don't think that matters, though. I think we need Thassa online. You know, this is definitely not the match for this card because it's like so pitifully weak against this deck. They'll never make the mistake of tapping out. Like, you always leave up mana here. Is their hand just not good? Are they trying to just scry into something relevant? Maybe we're closer to winning than we think. No, definitely not that. So at least against Anger of the Gods, we'll keep the Master Waves. They're scrying. I guess they have, like, nothing in their hand. They just, like, I don't know. So they just scry with this. That's fine. Hoping that they play like Growth Spiral so I can just counter it. Nope. Okay, well, they have to play like Anger this turn or they're dead. If you're gonna scry, you should probably do it in your upkeep. So like Anger here, yeah, that's fine. So I still have Master and I can still make it unblockable. And if I find like Gadwick, Thassa's lethal as well. So if they tap out for Gargadoth here, I could actually Disruption it now. I guess it doesn't help them too much. It only helps them if I don't find a way to turn Thassa online. I guess if that's what's in their hand, they may have to just play it though, so that depends. Looks like they're not going to do anything. Yeah, okay. They're just going to scry 2 again, so like... They put cards on top, so like what did they find that's like... I don't get it. Are they just going to try to Explosion me? They don't have enough mana to do that yet. And then they're just scrying 2 again, so... Okay. Can't do anything about that. So what do we find here? That seems pretty useless right now. That seems pretty good right now. So let's see, I have 6 mana, so I can play this. If I play this for 3, they have to have like 2 counter spells. Fuck, we just barely won that one. That was brutal, because I honestly think, like, if we did not find Gadwick on this turn, we were definitely heading towards, like, getting Explosioned out of the game. And, I don't think we would have been able to get there. Like, this is not enough against their deck, because they just, like, make a bajillion mana, and we don't have enough good counterspells against what they're doing. Yeah, their plan is to basically just not do anything for like most of the game. Like they're not playing like a bunch of blue planeswalkers or anything that make like Mystical Dispute super good. It's really just a bunch of like, you know, green and red cards that just use tons of mana, and then they like once at the stage of the game where, you know, they're casting like most of the blue stuff, it either like countering it doesn't do very much, or, you know, they'll have like a bajillion mana anyway. But I mean, here we go. We played to like the out of this. We found Gadwick, turned this in line. They have like they might have Mystical Dispute in their hand, so yeah, he just drew like some more cards. Yeah, if they have Dispute in their hands, you know, casting Gadwick here and not getting greedy with it certainly helps. If that was, yeah, if that's their only answer, then they just take 7 and die. So, yeah, like I said, I didn't expect that this was going to go in our favor, but you know what? We take these. We we take them for sure. But this is something we should probably consider. Like, maybe we need some better sideboard cards against this if we're going to expect to see this more of this in the future. Like, this deck can be a real beating, so it's tough, but I'm glad we got there. I will see you again next time. Please give this a thumbs up and leave some comments. Take it easy, everybody.